It's opening day here in Illinois.
Well, opening morning started off great. It was later in the morning, but I had this doe come in perfectly. But when I drew back, nothing at all felt right, and I ended up shooting right over her back at 20 yards.
It's October 9th, Illinois.
I had one of my longtime friends invite me to his farm to hunt. Now, I'd been watching a young deer in the field feeding in the standing corn for probably almost 2 hours now when I had this big adult doe come in. Now, I was waiting for her to go behind this next group of trees before I drew and shot. But for whatever reason, she got to this point, the wind was in my face, she just knew something was not right, and turned and walked out of my life without offering me a shot.
Right, it's October 29th.
Now, we've been starting to see some pre-rut activity, but all I had this day was these two small bucks come straight into my blind about 6 yards out. Even though it was fun, they're just not the bucks I was looking for.
It's October 30th, Illinois.
Now, right off the bat in this morning, I rattled and had this young buck come in. Even though he wasn't something I would shoot, this is still all the closer he would come. Shortly after that, I had a doe come by on the other side of me. Had she come in range, I would have shot because I was leaving for Missouri the next morning. About 15 minutes after she come through, this 1.5-year-old buck come through on her tracks trying to find her. Then about an hour later, that same doe come back through, still staying out of range. So it's off to Missouri I go.
It's November 4th. We're in Missouri. Sitting in a stand nobody's set yet. Up on a ridge. A bunch of oak trees up here.
This was my 4th day in Missouri. I hadn't seen a lot of deer, but I had seen some. But on this afternoon, I had a doe come in on me. And as she was coming in, I heard another deer walking in the leaves back behind me. And then I heard a real deep grunt and out stepped this buck. Now he come right into 12 yards to the right back corner of my stand and stood there for 15 plus minutes. Now the doe is off the right front corner of my stand, and I am right-handed, so to get any shot at this buck, I have to completely turn around in my stand. And she is either looking straight forward towards my tree or down at him, and I'm so afraid that if I move, I will spook her and spook this buck off. So if you're wondering why I'm not shooting while this buck is offering all these shots, it's because this doe has me pinned down in my stand. And it took a lot of patience to let this buck walk through all these shooting lanes, offering me great shots. But I was not going to spook this deer. Now, as he got out to about 35 yards, the doe turned and started walking up the hill. I knew the spot was 35 yards because I had ranged it 3 times before these deer even come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, as fate would have it, I hit this deer right in the shoulder and the leg bone. I had great blood for about 200 yards, and it started running out. So we decided to back out and come back the next morning.
Well, I've been out here for several hours now. I lost blood up here, probably about 300 yards total into the from where I shot him. And then I just scoured every ridge through here. It's all just big woods, as you can see. I just went and back and forth in like 20 yards each time, another 20 yards. Searched it all. Several hundred yards each direction from the trail that I lost blood on. Several hundred yards or more the direction he was traveling. The trails kind of end up there, kind of split off, and then they just all end and kind of go everywhere, but nothing. I just don't even know what to do now.
Now, the rest of the time on our Missouri farm, I've seen several other deer, lots of does and fawns and smaller bucks. I did see a few more shooters, but most of them come out as it was getting dark and too dark for camera. So it's back to Illinois. Now my first morning back in Illinois was great. It was a cold morning. I'm sitting a stand that has not been set the whole year. And right off the bat I have deer in on me. A few minutes later out steps this deer, which I thought was just a 2.5-year-old coming out. Until I zoomed up on him with the camera. Then I realized it was the buck we call Nasty 11. This deer's an older deer. I have several years of pictures of him. And not only is he not really growing rack-wise, he's not growing body-wise. So he is a deer I will shoot. I had several encounters that morning with other deer, including seeing Nasty 11 again. I watched where he went. I knew where he was going to bed. So that afternoon I made a change and sat a stand I knew he would have to come back by after getting out of his bed. So I wasn't in that stand very long, and I had this buck come out and come into my decoy. I switched my decoy to a doe that afternoon because the Nasty 11 was just not at all aggressive that morning and wanted nothing to do with my buck decoy. So I thought maybe he would come into a doe. About 4:35 I rattled, and about 10 minutes later he comes straight in to 8 yards, and bam, he's gone. I do not know what happened. Something spooked this deer.
Can't believe it. That was him. I hit him right here. I don't know what boogered him. Don't know. I'm so bummed out right now. I feel like I'm in the middle of a motocross race with my bow.
Arrow TV would like to thank the following people for their support: Scent Blocker, Obsession Bows, ECW Hunting Calls, Gold Tip Arrows, Bee Stinger Stabilizers, Antler King, Primo, Stormy Hardwoods, Whitetail Obsession Scents, and especially you, the viewers. Thanks for watching.